months because of Paul George and Lance Stevenson, but he found a nice niche in Boston.
Well, you know what he can do after watching him for so many years with the Buckeyes.
Yeah, he's terrific. Good basketball IQ, too.
And I think Doris Burke has something for us right now. Doris?
I was able to listen in on what the Nets coach was going over with his team. He said we are this close to finishing them off, but the job is not done yet, and I don't want to see any let-up out there. We'll see how well his point got across, guys.
Sullinger the screen. And Turner kicks to Sullinger. There's the three. And the Celtics hit again from deep.
And boy, did Evan Turner make the most of his second chance last season. Played with more focus, huge minutes for him with the Celtics. He may have found a home.
Lopez, and he throws it down hard with one hand.
Ooh, that's as forceful a finish as you're ever going to see out of this guy.
Well, gee, it adds now to their lead in spectacular fashion.
And, you know, that lead's only going to grow if they're not prepared to defend a little more staunchly than that.
Now a timeout called by Boston.
You know, it was a career year all around for Tucker last season. Still has work to do on his game, but showed he can contribute to a winning team. Very good value for his contract, too. You can never discount that.
Just a little under 2.5 minutes have passed now here in the fourth. Here's Sullinger. Nice ball movement by Boston. Second shot opportunity.
Next foul call. Lopez. That's his first personal foul.
And some stats here, guys. The scoring breakdown for the Nets.
Fantastic passing. We saw it in the first half, and it's carried over here in the second.
They've also jumped on any opportunity they've had to attack the basket tonight. I mean, excellent penetration.
And he's good on the second. And for Sullinger last season, further indication, Clark, that he needs to keep working on his conditioning.
And that was a concern coming into the league with Jared, is just how committed would he be to working on his body all the time and maintaining the level of conditioning that he needs. And injuries have been a part of that not being the case, but when he's out there, he's capable.
The feed to Sloan. And out of bounds as the Celtics gain possession.
Boston ball.
Here's Thomas. And we're about 3 minutes into the fourth quarter. Shot is off.
Boy, he blew the easy two by profiling, trying to look good. That's a bad decision and poor execution.
And again, no good by Brooklyn.
And talking about Sullinger, you wonder if he's been in the right scheme for the past couple years. He's not a three-point shooter. He's a back-to-the-basket banger. You want proof? Only hit 28% from behind the arc last season, and that was his career high.
Pretty much all of their buckets coming from inside the paint now.
That's right. 5 of their last 6 makes were on the interior. They've established their inside presence.
Thomas. There's the steal. To the paint. Oh, and here comes Johnson all alone.
And that steal paid instant dividends.
No wasted time or motion getting out on that fast break.
Celtics trail by 16.
You know, on the topic of Sullinger, guys, he said publicly that people are doubting him. And he's right. I mean, until he gets in better shape and stays that way, there will always be questions surrounding that part of his game. Hopefully for him going forward, he can be more Duncan than Diaw in the way he treats his body.
That doesn't go either for Thomas.
Just not much success when it comes to shooting.
Here's Sloan. He dishes it to Karasov. Johnson, the pass to Karasov. Sloan in the corner. Just 5 on the clock. Here's Karasov. Turner covering. And that one's good.
Boy, guys, they've shown some great passing on their last few trips down the floor. Excellent.
4 straight passes leading to scores. Great team play.
And here is Thomas. They set the screen. Crowder. And so he draws the foul on the shot. A trip to the line to shoot two. And watching Jay Crowder, he can really beast you up, Greg, and take you out of your game. One of the most physical wings, I think, in the NBA.
And not the most flexible athlete, but he makes up for that with that strength that you mentioned. It allows him to control the pace. I mean, he's a bumper and a grinder and hitting a big three out of nowhere. So he's what we call a true gamer.
Looking at Jay Crowder, he got traded from Dallas to Boston in the Rondo deal last season. Nobody expected all that much from him. All he did was go out and become one of the most valuable players on that team.
Here's Lopez. Here's Young. He feeds it to Karasov. Lopez a screen. And Karasov kicks to Johnson. Joe Johnston on the wing. Passes it to Karasov. Sloan in the corner. Tries again. No luck. Now Boston takes it the other way.
When you talk about Jay Crowder, there are those that you win because of, and then there are guys like him that you win with. I mean, the guy who's going to take the charge, commit the hard foul, do what others won't, really shows the heart of a champion.
Lopez a screen. Johnson kicks to Sloan. Back to Johnson. Olynyk with the steal. Johnson can't get it to go. Turner dishes to Thomas. Sullinger outside. All alone. And he hits the jump shot. Here's Sloan. Johnson outside. Out left to the wing. And Karasov kicks to Johnson. Out of bounds, Boston takes possession.
Well, that's inexcusable to throw a pass that far off the mark.
Smart's checked in for Isaiah Thomas. And a change for the Nets. Bargnani has checked in for Young. Celtics trail by 15. And Turner kicks to Sullinger. The dish to Smart. The three. Makes the bucket. Now he's got 5 field goals. 5 for 8 in the game.
There's been a change in his game compared to what we saw in the first half. I mean, he's scoring with a lot of confidence now.
Picked by Bargnani. Kicks it out to Johnson. Nice ball movement by Brooklyn. Clock at 6. They need this one. Here's Bargnani, and it's going to be out of bounds. The Nets will retain possession. So it's Brooklyn now. They led by as many as 18 points. Turner against Johnson. He's looking for Lopez and finds him. Shoots a three, and the basket by Karasov.
No doubt about the consistency when it comes to scoring the basketball for him tonight. A real nice lift for their offense.
Celtics trail by 15.
Boston timeout call.
Now a timeout called by Boston.
Well, last season I thought the Celtics made some strong waves in the East. I mean, they kept fighting and fighting all season long, and they ended up in the playoffs because of that never give up attitude.
Smart kicks to Turner. Pass to Smart. Sullinger left side. Clock at 6. And the pass to Smart. From deep three-point range. Brooklyn with the rebound. Lopez has got his 5th rebound in this one. And for the Celtics, 28 of their 40 wins on the season came against the East. Not impressive, but it got the job done in a conference which could be had at times, obviously.
That's true, but what should be noted, Kevin, about the Celtics against the East is just how well they played against the Eastern Conference playoff teams.
Right.
I mean, against the East top 8, they shot a lot better and executed a lot better as well. So you can see them stepping up their game against the competition.
And so he draws the foul on the shot, a trip to the line to shoot 2. After the Nets' big moves the past couple years, they were looked at as an older team, but you break it down, and you know, Greg, they're not as old as you think.
And actually had the 5th youngest team of anyone in the postseason. And so, though they seem older just because so many of their players had playoff experience or came into the league at a young age.
Good on the second free throw.
And, you know, for the Nets, the roster's average age was about 2 years younger at the end of the 2015 season than where they were at the end of 2014. They made a point to get younger.
Dishes it to Bargnani. Kicks it to Lopez. Tipped away. Olynyk with the steal. You're smart. Finished off the break.
This is a fantastic performance in this half. He didn't play as well in the first, but you just know with this guy, he's always ready to turn it around.
And even though the Nets were younger last season, they were tough in tight games, playing really like a bunch of veterans, and went 10-2 on the year in games decided by 3 or fewer points.
Lopez against Sullinger. Now Johnson. He kicks it to Sloan. Back to Johnson. Feeds it to Lopez. And he was fouled on the way up. 2 free throws now for him.
You know, the Nets really kind of drifted along for the first part of last season, treaded water, but after the All-Star break, they stepped on the gas, put themselves right back in the playoff picture.
As you mentioned, the Nets were great after the break, had the 3rd best record post-All-Star break in the East.
Yeah, and how about winning 13 of their first 22 after the break? And sometimes with a new coach and system, it takes a while to kind of figure things out. And that seemed to be the case with the Nets last year. And there's no doubt about this one. Playing with a lot of confidence tonight. It's a statement victory for the Nets.
You know, it's tough to put your finger on the deciding factor in this one, but I'd say that the shooting accuracy made the difference.
Shot quality and better overall shooting.
And it'll mark their 4th win on the year, actually their 5th win on the year.
And guys, when you're cracking heads against somebody 4 times over the course of a season, boy, it's a great feeling to snatch that first game. Good adjustments tonight against the Celtics.
2-second difference between shot clock and game clock. Here's Sloan. Lopez right side. Bargnani kicks to Karasov. Pass to Lopez. And again, it's the Nets missing. And so it's Brooklyn easily grabbing this one. And in the win, a comfortable win in what was, I think, a pretty hostile environment.
It really was. You know, it's never going to be easy on the road, but they didn't have too many problems with that tonight.
And now let's catch up with Doris Burke, who's standing by on the sideline. Doris?
Joe, how did your defense dictate what happened tonight, especially as it relates to pace?
Well, we just wanted to slow the game down. I know when we slowed them down, they didn't make as many shots, and field goal percentage started decreasing. We was able to get stops and get easy buckets.
Joe, thank you. Kevin, over to you.
Doris, thank you as always. Well, folks, that's going to do it for now. This is Kevin Harlan thanking you for watching. Now it's time to head back to the studio with Ernie Johnson.
The 2K Sports post-game show.
Hey y'all, Ernie Johnson here along with Kenny Smith and Shaquille O'Neal. Welcome back for the presentation of our Jordan Player of the Game, Brook Lopez. Right out of the gates, he came out strong, making his first 3 shots and helping establish some offensive rhythm.
His accuracy from the field was pretty eye-catching. I mean, if he...
And that wraps things up, folks. Thanks for joining us. For Shaquille O'Neal, Kenny the Jet